People often ask what it's like raising competitive shooters. We've learned more about parenting than we have strictly shooting. I want to share maybe 5 or 6 lessons that I've learned as a parent raising competitive shooters. The first thing we learned was we have to make it fun. We did that in a couple of ways. One was shooting targets where they could see their impact. Shooting a piece of paper with a tiny bullseye the size of a match head isn't too fun for a little kid because they just can't see where their impact is. So we shot a lot of ketchup packets, exploding targets, old baseball cards, just anything where the impact would be bigger. We also found shooting with friends makes it better for the kids as well, because they enjoy it more when they're doing it with friends. The second thing we learned was make shooting about the kids, not the mom or dad's identity. And man, we see that so much in youth sports. Fortunately for me, I had a pretty successful career in rodeo, and so I had lived my dreams, and now my identity isn't as attached to my kids as a lot of parents' identity is. So just remember, it's about the kids. It's about their accomplishments. As a parent, the job is to equip them and resource them and train them and teach them safety, and for them to simply have fun, not to be so tied up to where their accomplishments are a reflection of me or mom. The third thing we learned is character is more important than skill. In light rifle, they shoot paper targets, and there's something called a crossfire where one kid accidentally shoots another kid's target. And the integrity that we teach our kids is, even if that kid crossfired on you and hit a bullseye, you don't claim it because you didn't score it. And we've seen time and time again in competitive matches where there was money and prizes on the line. How they treat other competitors is also big for us. We want to make sure that they treat all the competitors with the same level of respect that they treat each other with, because these kids are working hard to improve their personal best scores. It's much like cross country or track, where, hey, I might not be the winner of today's match, but I might have shot my personal best. And so how we treat our fellow competitors and celebrate their wins is key in us building our kids' character. Because again, it's not just about winning trophies and prizes. How they handle losing also builds character. A kid that can come back from maybe not having their personal best to showing up and competing hard again the next day, that's life skills. And so one of the things we learned as parents is, man, there's a lot more that comes out of shooting than just buckles and prizes and things of that nature. Building young people of character is what it's all about. The next lesson is let the kids struggle. Man, as a parent, this is a pretty tough one because, obviously we want to fix everything. We don't want to see our kids struggle, but that's not how you build resiliency in competitors. And so much like life has its struggles, light rifle does too, but we're trying to build resilient kids. And when you don't let them embrace the suck, you're taking that opportunity away from them. And so standing, for example, is the hardest of the 3 positions. And there's a lot of times where you want to reach in there and help your kid, or load magazines, or adjust gun slings, whatever the case may be. But again, moms and dads don't get to go on the firing line during competitions. And so the more you let the kids struggle and practice and learn for themselves, the better position they're going to be to handle adversity on the firing line. They're going to know how to fix a sling that comes unattached. They're going to know how to unjam their gun. So let the kids struggle. As hard as that lesson is, it's super important. The kids have also learned that consistency matters. Like showing up and competing, even when you don't feel like it, typically beats talent most times. Talent often takes breaks, whereas work ethic does not. There's actually been a couple of years where our kids finished higher in the standings than others who may have been a better shot, but the kids took a day off. This old cowboy friend of mine once told me that, you know, showing up is oftentimes more important. Bro, look at the camera. You're not even looking at the camera, you're looking up. But he said most kids fail not because they lack talent, but because they lack consistency. And you know, I don't know the famous actor who said it, but it was something along the, you know, showing up is 90% of the battle. And that's true for light rifle. Shooters come in all shapes, sizes, and ages, and the talent level varies greatly. So as a parent, we've had to learn to celebrate progress, not perfection. We've had to celebrate individual wins, not overall wins, because every kid is running their own race, so to speak. And so as a parent, and I highly encourage you to celebrate the progress and the accomplishments of your kid. Not every kid is going to throw a no-hitter, and not every shooter is going to shoot a perfect score, but they can show improvements. And the last lesson is the friendships are the real win. Light rifle has amazing competitors, amazing families, and just red-blooded Americans. Everybody's willing to help everybody, and so you're going to meet some of the greatest people, and I suspect that's one of the best lessons I could share with you is it's not about the trophies, it's about the friendships that are made. This year, the twins qualified for the high school finals along with two of their best buddies who also happen to be brothers. And their dad and I grew up high school rodeoing, 25, 30 years ago, and he remains one of my best friends today. And so knowing that the buckles are going to be lost, the money's going to be spent, these friendships that the kids are making are going to last a lifetime. 20 years from now, I won't remember every score, but I will remember the road trips, the time that we were able to spend together, and the men that the twins have become in the process of being ultra competitive in light rifle shooting.